Welcome, welcome. It is Find You Fridays readings with Lorene. That would be me. Oh, gosh, how good a day is today. I have to say, I have absolutely loved my day. Oh dear, and I am ramping up for an absolutely phenomenal few days. I had craft class last night. I had an absolutely gorgeous sound healing session today. Received that group sound healing session with Mary McLeod and Daniel. And hi, darling. Hi, Melinda. And tomorrow I'm doing my first class, attending my first class of level 1 Reiki. And then on Sunday, I'm attending a women's red tent event gathering. So, just so much going on. So, oh gosh, I tell you what, ladies, Melinda, the sound healing session that I received today was absolutely freaking phenomenal. And everybody in the group received some really, really deep healing today, and it was just so beautiful to witness, So happy days. So how's your week been for us Adelaideans? We've had 39, 40 degrees today. So how have you all been coping with that? Pretty much everywhere I've been today has had aircon. So I'm a happy camper. But also the heat up here on the hills is not the same as down on the plains, funnily enough. Strange how that happens. It's still the same temperature. It just doesn't feel quite as hot, which is nice. But anyway. So I'm having to drink lots and lots of water. So forgive me if I'm drinking a little bit more fluids today than what I do normally. These healings that have happened already and are happening in the next couple of days. As many of you know, when you sign up to something that's an energetic healing, growth, expansion type thing, whether it be a workshop or a session or whatever, it starts working on you immediately. As soon as you click, yes, I'm going to that. And sometimes even before that, if you're already thinking about it, considering it, and all of that sort of stuff, blam, it's already like working on you to get you to click that button that says, yes, I'm attending. So Melinda says, had a couple of sound baths. I just love them. So many tingles and goosebumps. Oh my God. So today we had the sound bowls, both the crystal and the metallic type ones. We had like a chime thing. We had the American flute and a couple of didgeridoos and drums and gong and it was just so delicious. Hi, Edwina. So delicious, and my body was just vibrating, and there was some really interesting movement of energies and information through my body. And for almost half of it, because Mary called in our spirit teams and our individual spirit teams to help us and to work with us and guide us and all of that sort of stuff. And at one point it was like my whole body was above my body, being held and supported by my team while they like did sort of blocks surgery, just removing any funny little blocks out of my, I guess, auric space, but from my bodily space. And I was just like, oh, yes. But even more so than that was that it reactivated a little element of my own personal healing capacities that I haven't let too many people know about. I think it's only come out in a couple of sessions. over the last 3 to 4 years. And that is that I too have toning sound abilities. And I'm just telling you guys now. Oh, and it was just so beautiful to have that space just going, and it was just coming out of me. So don't be surprised if in our lovely little meditation tonight, if some tones come out, because I have a funny feeling they're going to. And I got quite excited when that awareness popped in today as I was, receiving this beautiful healing session today. I tell you what, this was at the Springwood studio in Leewood Gardens. So sort of at the bottom of it's on the old Mount Barker Road, after Eagle on the Hill. It's an absolute gorgeous property. But if you're going out there for the first time, make sure you get some guidance on how to get there, because it is a little bit tricky to start off with. But yeah, and when if you ever get a chance to go to a good sound bath, and I know that's hard to say good sound bath when you haven't been to one. I've been to a few now, and today's has to have been one of the best, because there's many factors in it. Number one, it was the people facilitating, and the energy that they had between them. So between Mary and Danny. But also it was the space it was being held in. It's this beautiful studio, and the acoustics in there were just so gorgeous. And it's surrounded by bush, or it's sort of on a hill, but overlooking some valleys and more hills around. And it was just, you just felt so held in the land as well, and supported by that. And it was just absolutely incredible. And yeah. Yeah, I've always been a bit of a singer anyway. I used to do musical theatre back in my high school days, and in my 20s I did theatre a bit. But I sort of slipped more into backstage stuff when I was doing theatre work. Then the singing came back out when I was doing childcare, because, you have to sing at childcare because there's a lot of songs to sing. And then it also came out when I was doing my disability care, because I had a client there that was level 2 complex care, non-verbal, and we had to do percussions on their back. And so that's where you're patting on the back with like a cup position of your hands to loosen up the phlegm in the lung. And because I only had one lung, and you had to do that for between 10 to 15 minutes per side. And, doing that for 10 to 15 minutes per side is quite boring. And when I first started with this client, and I worked with them for about 6 years, and I would get so bored. And so I just start singing the childcare songs that I knew. And the family were always like, "Oh, wow, Lorene, your singing is so lovely." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks." So yeah, there's always been a level of singing throughout, but I've never really, and until it just came out in an online session that I was doing with a client one day. It was one of my repeat clients. It was like all of a sudden I was just like, I have to follow this, so, and she's like, "Yeah, absolutely, go for it." And that was one of our most phenomenal sessions, actually, because it just hit in a different way. When you're using voice and tone, it just hits in a really different way. So let's see where we go tonight. I look forward to seeing how our readings go tonight. I'm looking forward to hearing more about how you guys have handled this week. Of course, we've got the beautiful new moon energy coming up on Sunday, Monday, depending on where you are in the world and how you work it. It's technically Monday, I think. But, it's Monday, like early Monday morning kind of deal. So it's kind of like that Sunday night, Monday morning time of the day. So all of those lovely energies are ramping up at the moment. And so, I mean, this week I have had an absolutely incredible body week, as far as I've been doing a lot of really intense work, lots of ladder work, and being out in the sun a lot, which has made me feel quite zonked. But luckily it was coming up to the new moon. So as you know, my energy levels tend to go up more. So I've been very grateful for that. But in saying that, I've been incredibly emotional too. And if I recall, that was something that did come up in our reading last week. So, and I got emotional about the planet. And it cropped up because I was watching a video from a farmer who has a big property out in, I think it was New South Wales. And he was doing a panning shot of the cloud structures. And you could see just where all of the spraying from the chemtrails had been over the previous 3 days. And it was like slices through the air and through the sky. And it absolutely broke my heart. And I don't say that lightly, because my beautiful partner, Alex, he just held space for me. And I cried. I cried and I cried and I cried. And I got angry and I got frustrated and I got, just the grief was coming out of me for this amazing planet who's having to deal with so much right now. And there's certainly different ways you can frame it. Like, I was talking with somebody today who said, yeah, I see all those, things in the sky, but I look at them and I go, that's not my reality. So my reality is that they are not spraying chemicals, that they are spraying love, and that they are, contributing love across the planet and across the skies to give love to us all. And that's how they felt about 5G as well. And, just they're changing the vibrations so that the 5G can float out vibrations of love more so to other people. And I was like, well, that's a really lovely way to reframe those sorts of things. I'm not sure I necessarily agree with that point of view, but it's a lovely point of view to have. So, I'm very deeply connected to Mother Earth, and most of the time I can just kind of numb those sensations out, because it does get too much sometimes. And so I bring this up today because you all might be feeling a little bit like that too. You might be feeling a bit of grief. You might be feeling a bit of sadness or anger. These energies are coming up to bring up these sorts of moments and these points of view so that you can look at them, you can sit with them, you can heal them, you can, just be. It's these beautiful elements of us are what makes us human. It changes what we are from being other dimensional to being human, is being able to feel as deeply as we do. So if you require permission to feel all of your emotions, to feel the anger, to feel the sadness, to feel the frustration, to feel the grief, I'm giving you permission. Not that you really need it from me, but if you do require it, please just feel. Allow your body to feel. Because if we try to stuff that down, it will just eventually just go and come up in a big, huge bundle. And it might come up because of something like what happened for me this week, of seeing a video, which under any other circumstance would be just like, oh, wow, that's really like shit. But this week it hit me really different. It may come up in healing sessions and things like that, where it's just like that stuff has been suppressed for so long that you get just the right trigger point or the right activation point, if you like, and it'll just go like today in the sound healing session. there were several of the participants there were, you know, doing a lot of like tremor shaking and stuff like that while they were releasing. And it was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing. Me, I was just being quiet and moving my legs a little bit and singing. So yes, please feel into your heart. Keep doing that. We are ascending at a very vast rate of knots right now. So it's still going to be a bit rough for a while, I think. And it's going to get a little bit messy, but it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. All right. Now, let's have a look at our weekly reading. Hi, Brian. And I'm doing really well. I had an absolutely incredible sound healing session today. So, how did we get so lucky? But yes, as far as connection to everything and everyone, it's like the more I learn about what my purpose is here, the more it makes sense why I react so big. And one of the gifts that came out of today was Mary's awareness of my, like, as soon as I walked in, she goes, "Hello, Miss Gigglepot." And one of the things that came through was about, you know, just making sure that I'm remaining really grounded, because I am very much with the spirit world, which you guys know, that's what makes me wonderful at being able to connect with all of your teams really quickly. But also just the gift of my laughter and my higher energy is exactly what's required for the world. Hi, Tamara. So if you all would love a extended reading, because those always have priority, and I already have at least one person who has booked in already, like paid a little donation to the PayPal that is running across the bottom of the screen. It's also tagged and pinned in the comments, as well as in the show notes. So yeah, if you want to pop a little donation through, I will absolutely do an extended reading for you. Generally, my extended readings take up the majority of the show. So, and there's not really much time for free readings, but if there is, then I might do some poetry stuff. So, in the meantime, yeah, hi, lovely. Hi, lovely Lynn. So let us get through this beautiful weekly reading for, where are we? We are the 10th today. So the 11th through to the 17th, finding out how we can best work with these energies for the collective of the Find You Fridays crew. So with this weekly reading, it is a general reading for everyone. Whatever resonates the most with you, cool. Work with that, pick it up, run with it. Maybe just pop the other stuff off to the side for now and maybe have a think, ponder about it, come back to it should you require it. It's just a nice little way of having a little bit of a heads up for what is coming up. And at the same token, if none of this resonates for you, that's okay. Don't worry about it. It's obviously for someone else in the group. So yes, I appreciate you, Lynn. I know it is late for you. It's like 10:30 or 11, nearly 11 o'clock at night for you. So I appreciate that you're even up right now to say hello. So yes, if you need to go off and have a snooze because the lovely new moon energy is working on you, please go ahead. And I love you too. All right, my beautiful ones. So the weekly reading that we have got coming up for the 11th through to the 17th of November 2023, we are going to be starting off with this lovely card here of peace. So peace comes from remembering that only love is real. So right now, and this has been going on for a little while, there's going to be some very a small minority that is being very, very loud and saying how shit the world is. Please remember that love is real, and that it is really important for you to drop into that space of unconditional love and of peace. Because if you have the unconditional love and the peace in your heart, you'll be able to see through the BS that is out there at the moment. There is a lot of it, a lot of illusions, a lot of smokes and mirrors happening, but it is all being blown away, and which is why the world is a little bit rough right now. So please remember to have that space of like peacefulness and come back to the unconditional love. Pull it up from Mother Earth through your body, pull it down, flow it down from Father Sky through your body with your breath, which is why we do that every show at the end of the night. We do that practice so that you remember and you have that weekly top up of how to do that particular process, because it's so important right now. The next card, which flows on very beautifully from that one, is gentleness. So be very gentle with yourself over this next week. Surround yourself with gentle people, situations, and environments. So sometimes it's unavoidable. Like harsh situations are unavoidable. We might have a really ratchet situation at work, or maybe you're caring for someone who has a terminal illness and they are being incredibly challenging, and or there's just so many situations that can pop up. Come back to that place of gentleness again. So we've got that. This is some really loud cards actually talking at the beginning of this reading this week. So please take a breath, come back to that space of gentleness, come back to that space of heart place. We've got, these absolutely gorgeous archangels and your spirit team floating around you. We've got Mother Earth, we've got Father Sky, you've got the universe, you've got Source, you've got, whatever you want to call the higher being, you've got yourself. You've got all those beautiful things, even the elements on the earth, like the trees and the water and the rivers and the ocean. And, there's just so many places to find peace. We are so abundant in spots to find peace, and also the peace within. Okay? So it's like every breath can actually be peaceful, if you allow it to be, and if you allow it to go deep enough. If you're breathing only up here in your shoulders, you're not going to find the peacefulness. It's taking it right down to the bottom of your belly, down past your belly. If you can imagine your breath going all the way down to your toes and then coming back up, beyond your toes into Mother Earth and then coming back up. This is why I love even just basic breath work is just so beautiful for just making you recenter. Ironically, we did some of this today. Chakra clearing. So along with our beautiful moment of upgrading, we're going from the 3D through the 4D, hence the reason why we get very emotional, because that's where all the emotions is, in the 4D realm. Back up to 5D. For us to have that transition a bit smoother, we're going to have to do some more chakra clearings. Just keep checking in with your chakras, keep clearing them out. And there's loads and loads of beautiful meditations and things. Even if you don't want to do a guided meditation, there's loads of healing, like sound meditations on YouTube and things like that, you can have short ones, you can have long ones, you can have ones that are specific. You can spend one day, or even a month on one chakra and just really dive into what that chakra means for you. I had a friend, very dear friend of mine, did that last year. She spent 7 months doing those base chakras, the core chakra, and she did it every single day. She posted something about that particular chakra that was relevant to her that was popping up for her on that day. And it was just such an incredible inspiration to really look at what does each chakra mean to you. Where are your blocks? Where are your points of views around that, the elements that those chakras hold? And just doing a bit of a deep dive onto those. So depends on which way you want to go. You can do the light approach, you can do the really deep approach, but basically the teams are saying we really do require some more clearing of our chakras, please. Okay, we've got Beloved One that has popped up. So it says, I'm helping you with your spiritual soulmate relationship. Now, some of you may be going through a little bit of a rough patch with your loved one. And this card is saying that like they're actually there, they're helping you with this situation. So if you're finding yourself being a bit niggly with your partner, being a little bit cranky, maybe not quite so tolerant, or a little bit impatient, or it's like, you know, I come back to those first two cards again, peacefulness and compassion, gentleness, peace and gentleness, okay? And along with that, compassion as well. Sometimes, and this is something that happened for me on the weekend, I felt so irritated within myself, could have thought it was mine, but it was actually the reaction of my partner to something I had done because I hadn't communicated properly with him about what I was going to be doing for the day. And that irritated him, but he wasn't quite in the space of knowing how to communicate that with me either. So it was a funny little situation, and I sort of stopped and I went, truth, is this mine? And I was like, nope. And I was like, okay. So I just asked him, hey, I'm feeling like this real space of irritation, but I don't know if it's mine. Is this yours? Or have I done something that's irritated you? And that gave the opening to be able to have that conversation. And this is quite often how our conversations will roll. It's not accusatory. In I would say about 98% of the time, it's not accusatory. That last 2% is when we're just incredibly tired and like we've just got nothing else to give, and it just comes out bleh. So if you're having trouble with your loved one over this week, go back to those space, deep breath, unconditional love and compassion, okay? Breathe through it and just remember they are a person too. They have their heart and feelings, and they have a deep love for you. They're talking here about a soulmate relationship. So if you were to approach them, even if you've got something a bit crunchy to talk about, if you're coming from that space of compassion and love and unconditional love, meaning love with no rules and no boundaries, which is what Mother Earth gives us all the time. And I mean all the time. There is not a millisecond of the day that Mother Earth is not contributing unconditional love to us. Whether we wish to receive it or not, that's up to us. But if you were to approach your partner from that place, how would that look? How would you communicate? How would you approach that person? There's possibly some crunchy stuff coming up. Along with that, we've got overcoming difficulties. So, towards the end of next week, we're going to get some rough moments. And it's okay. We're working through them. And this one here is like, the worst is behind you. It's going to feel like it's the worst at the time, though. That's what I'm being told. It's going to feel like, oh my God, this is just... once you're past it though, and coming back to those first two cards, so the first two cards are just that general, like it's really grounding us in that space of the energy that we're going to have to really focus on throughout the rest of the week. Please, when those crunchy moments come up, come back to the peace, come back to the gentleness, come back to unconditional love, come back to breath, come back to, connection to source. And remember that the best is yet to come. And we are consistently, day by day, moment by moment, breath by breath, working towards that. All right, we're nearly there. We're nearly there. The last, or second to last card that we've got is leadership. So every single one of you who are on this show right now and are watching this in the future, you are all leaders in your own right. That is why you are here. That is why you are watching this right now. There is no coincidence as to why you are watching this show right this very second. You are here to hear this message of being the leader. Now, leadership shows up in all sorts of different ways. It doesn't necessarily mean being out the front of the army and charging forward like, rah! You can take our lives, but you cannot take our freedom, good old William Wallace styles. It doesn't necessarily mean that. You can be the leader by gently changing the energy in a room by just walking in there with your openness, with your peace and your gentleness. You can be the leader and the change in somebody's life by being that bright, happy, full of love, sunny moment in another person's life by an email. You can do that with a smile. You can do that when somebody merges and lets you merge in. You give them a bit of a wave to say thank you. Today I did it at the checkout operator when I was over at the IGA, and I just said to him, thank you. I really, really appreciate that you are here to serve me and to scan my groceries for me. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you. This is called being a leader. And you can be like that William Wallace style, out the front doing, whoa. And if that's you, go for it. I love that too. We require all the different facets. But if you're a little bit more shy and a little bit more reserved, you're being a leader by showing people what it's like to feel love, to express love with a smile, with a kind word, with a hug, with compassion, by listening and really hearing the person, by being attentive to other people's desires, requirements, all that sort of stuff. You are being a leader. You are showing the people around you how to function in a really different way. So keep doing you. Okay? Keep being that. It is absolutely required. Because with more of that, this transition through to the 5D and beyond will be so much smoother. So let's do our yummy cards. So our yummy card for this week is imagination. So where can you use your imagination this week to take you beyond all your limited possibilities that you have, or points of views rather, that you have got stuck in your wee heads and are preventing you from moving forward? As a friend of mine said to me this week, have you seen the vision, Lorene? And I knew what she was talking about. And I said, yes, I have. And she's like, so what are you doing about it? And I completely agree with her. Totally agree. And that's why I'm here talking with you guys. I love being with you all. You are part of my vision. This platform is part of my vision of how I can be and connect and love and enjoy and keep my skills sharp, so that I'm continuing to help us all move through to the 5D with so much more ease. That is my imagination, and that is my vision for how we are going to move together as a collective. So yes, that was the weekly reading. Hallelujah for that. It's going to be an interesting week. It might be a bit bumpy and rough, but breathe, come back to your heart. Love, compassion, peace, gentleness. Keep remembering the gentleness. And also, it's okay to feel angry sometimes. Just don't be that person that goes and takes it out on everybody else. It's okay to express your anger. Find constructive ways to do that. Okay, Melinda, you're first up, my love. So if you could please pop your little question into the chat so I can put it up on the screen, please. I know what your question is. However, I still would like you to put it up there. Just so that people know who I'm doing the reading for. Oh, your team. Oh, your team is tired. I like that. Nudge you. Oh, dear. All right, let's have a look. And who else? Is there someone else that wishes to come and play? Oh, yes. There is. Who? Oh, we'll find out. Can you even believe it? We're like so close to Christmas now. Hard to believe. Hard to believe. Christmas plans are being set all around the world. And now I've got the Carpenters song in my head. There's a kind of hush all over the world tonight. See? Singing. Yep, that's what I'm getting. Just very tired. You guys have been working really hard. So I would highly suggest, without a shadow of a doubt, please do some nurturing for you over the weekend, please. Do some nurturing, loving things for you. Maybe catch up with your sister. 29. 29, not 39. Okie dokie. Alrighty, Melinda. Oh, Lynn, I love it. I must have been tuning in on you, huh? All right. So the card that's the solo card of your reading, so to speak, is this beautiful one here, which is the cherry blossom, which is peace. So this comes from the Language of Flowers Oracle by Sherilyn Darcy. So it's a beautiful, beautiful one. And this card is talking about to let the Let the heart guide you with decisions at the moment. It could be a time of forgiveness and letting go of grudges, as these are upsetting the natural balance and that can be easily achieved. Be true and kind to yourself, especially in situations involving groups and institutions. Coexistence and harmony issues are at the forefront, so look around at what might be connected, but you are neglecting to recognize. Integrity is indicated, as is acceptance. So the challenges that come that may be about for you at the moment. So the cherry blossom challenges include judgmental, rigid thinking and institutions, communities and groups limiting individual thought and freedom, isolation from the natural world and indications of living without balance or self-realization of doing so. Inflexibility and intolerance may prove to be issues encountered. So just that particular card alone is saying, please be aware of your energy, be aware of the places you're putting yourself in that might be restricting you and contracting your energy down some, and make conscious choices about that and as to whether you are choosing to allow that to happen. Okay, because you're far stronger than that. And just not letting other people's judgments and stuff stop you from being amazingly, wonderfully you. So as you can feel in here, there's a lot of burping going on because we're releasing a lot of energy. Just by talking about this, we're actually releasing a lot, because that's how I work, apparently. The next card of your main reading, part of your reading here, is cancel, clear, and delete. So once again, you're being reminded, please, 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 on a daily, if not multiple times a day, perhaps when you're at the hub, when you're starting to feel your energy going, as is indicated by the cherry blossom card as well, you might require to do some, cancel, clear, delete processes. Or if you know my tools or access tools of destroying and uncreating relationships, or cut the cords, or whatever you require to do, or however it works for you to just. And remembering it's not about putting up barriers, it's about having personal boundaries. And remembering that every single interaction we have is backwards and forwards of energy. So we create a flow with the people around us all the time. And if we don't, as this card says, cancel, clear, and delete those connections, we're still very much connected to them. So with your beautiful people at the hub and the challenging ones, or the interesting folks, as you put up there, please cancel, clear, delete your relationship to them. Your divine feminine is asking to please come out and be seen some more. So if you're feeling a bit of tightness and tension on your left-hand side, that's a part of this stuff coming up again. Express your divine feminine energy, embracing its magical intuition, nurturing qualities. So those nurturing qualities, I'm getting that they really, really, really have to come out this weekend, please. Your team is asking for you to take some time and when we nurture our bodies, it's not just by ourselves. We can actually be deeply nurtured with beautiful, uplifting people around us. Like today, I feel so deeply nurtured because of the sound bath. And then I got to have lunch with a couple of my friends afterwards who also attended the sound bath. And it was just such a beautifully nurturing, nourishing day for my body, right? So that I did feel so light and fluffy when my partner came home, and he was really tired because he's had an incredibly hard week too. And I'm just like, yeah, hi. And now I can come to you guys. Hi. When we nourish ourselves, it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to lock ourselves away from the world. And that's also what this card was talking about. Be aware where you're trying to You may have a point of view or a belief system that to nourish and nurture your body, you have to be isolated from everybody. That's not true. Okay, sometimes, yes, but not this time. Okay, you require some goddess love, some sisterhood around you as well. The next card that we've got for you, Melinda, is if you get nervous, focus on service. This card always makes me roll my eyes a bit because I'm like, oh God, but we do. As women, we often focus on service more than anything else, and probably sometimes to our detriment. But I'll read it here and see what else drops in. Put your entire intention on answering the question, how can I make the world a better place? And the law of attraction will automatically take care of your needs. So it's an interesting one. So they're obviously asking you to not have to do everything yourself. Call on your team, because your team is here to help you and to be of service with you. So how would you like to contribute to the world? How would you like to be of service to the world? And within that, have you considered asking your team to assist you with that? Because they can, and they will. So if you get nervous, focus on service. If you're thinking, oh, I don't know what my life purpose is, there we go. The next card that we've got for you is the solar plexus chakra. It is safe for you to be powerful and take charge of your life in positive ways. So I challenge you for the next week, because I can see the other two cards that are coming up. The next week, I would, and also, of course, the chakra clearing came up in our group reading. Focus on your solar plexus chakra and do a lot of the yellow bathing. Bathe in yellow, dress yourself in yellow, put yellow jewelry on. Bring that color yellow really deeply into your world over this next week, and that's going to help shift some stuff for you. Archangel Raphael. So the healing angel is with you, supporting you in your healing work. We know Archangel Raphael is just an absolute beauty to have on our side, and just that sparkly, delicious energy of Archangel Raphael. So I think you already do work with Archangel Raphael, so that's just kind of like a confirmation. Yes, they are still working with you. Please call on them some more. Okay. Interesting. So the power animal has come up again. It came up, maybe not for you, but it has come up in this group a couple of times. So your animal spirit guide is a guardian to you and is helping you with this situation. So your power animal, I wonder, do you know who that is or what that is? Because if you don't, they're asking to be seen and heard and to be able to contribute to you as well. So it is time to drop in and do some meditation work. Okay. And hi Barry, how's it down south? Hopefully you're not suffering with the heat down there. It's been a hot one up here in Adelaide in the hills. So yeah, your power animal, it's time for them to be seen and heard and incorporated into your team. Please bring them through. Dear goddess, I'd just like to show you this card a little bit closer. I'm sure you've probably got this deck, but this goddess card, if you can see, there's actually several goddesses here. There's another one back there. I think there's another one in that tree back there. So that's what I'm saying, is the message that I was getting with this goddess card is that you don't have to do it all alone. There's loads and loads and loads of support that is there for you, and it's time for you to start bringing that energy in. Okay. So your yummy cat is heart. Okay. So keep coming back to your heart space. Keep coming back, keep coming back, keep coming back, keep coming back. And check in with your heart of, is this for my highest and best? Truth. Don't forget to put the truth on the front of this. Truth. Is this for my highest and best? Use your awareness. Use your light and heavy tool. Come back to the heart. Keep coming back to the heart. Is listening to this person's judgments for my highest and best? No. Okay. Thank you. And with that, you can also say to them, if you require to say anything to them at all, other than just F off, go away, leave me alone. If you don't wish to be quite so brash, you can say, thank you so much for caring. And they'll be like, huh? It's like, okay, thank you. Thank you so much for caring about me. And I'm going to exit stage left. See ya. And then cancel, clear, delete your relationship with them. Alrighty, Melinda, thank you so much for your donation today. I hope that helps you for the week to come. And I look forward to connecting with you some more around all of that. Okay, Tamara. Very interesting cards. I agree. Tamara, could you please pop your question in, Tamara Turner, into the chat now so that I can tune in with your team and get some energy flowing so we can do a reading for you. Pop your question in there so I can do that for you. All right. Oh, Barry, you're going to be loving this one. The general readings tonight. We got to love a good general reading night. To the people who know me well, they know I like specific questions because I can go deep on those ones. General questions are okay too. Okay, just bringing in your team tomorrow. I've worked with Melinda's team a lot, so that's why I was like, they've become like old friends. Love it. Oh, goodness. There's some energy moving, that's for sure, tomorrow. Oh, what's that? Okay. So what I'm getting initially from a body perspective, some information that's coming through, is you've got some really interesting belief systems that are causing you a lot of sadness right now. And within that, like, these are old belief systems that you have been taught, you have taken on from your family, and maybe even generational family belief systems. And right now it's bumping up against what you know is true for you, and it's making you feel really sad, because it's like you're going to have to make some choices that is going to feel like you're pulling away from the family and going against what they would normally be okay with. And so now I've got the form and structure bars going off. So you're going to be leaning into a really different way of living, and they're not going to understand that. And it's going to create a bit of friction. And you can feel that that's coming. You may have even made some steps towards that. But at the same token, you're holding back from really stepping forward into that, because I've got heart stuff going on here too. All right, because the heart stuff actually came through first. And it was like, oh, this hurts my heart to be, considering not necessarily fully following in my family's pathways. I'm not going to say footsteps, it's pathways. It's like the roads that the well-worn paths that they have made over the years. It's like, it's not going to be going that way for you. And this is really important for you to acknowledge that you are being so brave right now, and that courage and that bravery is exactly what's required. It is one of your superpowers. So please keep following what is true for you, and the family members that are meant to come with you will. They will come forward. And those that don't get it, you'll learn to have allowance for each other, and you'll either be able to walk side by side, or they'll fall away. And that both of those options can create a little bit of grief for you and for them. So it's okay, because the space that they create will be filled in with others that are right in alignment with you, and that they will just, everything will blossom. But there's just going to be a little bit of like a bit of a bumpy road for a little while. Okay. All right. So actually into the cards now. All right. So the first card that we've got for you is let go of comparison. Embrace the unique you. So I hadn't even turned these cards over before I did all of that. Okay, this is just what was coming through from how I read bodies and how your team and your body is talking to me through my body. So let go of the comparison between you and your family. Okay, and those around you. It's like, just be beautifully you, be confidently you. And I know that can seem really hard to do sometimes, but the more that you realize that the things that make you beautiful and unique and special are probably the things that other people have judged you the harshest for, because they don't get it and they're just a tiny touch jealous. I can tell you, one of my greatest superpowers is my level of compassion. Yet my family, my brothers and my mother used to say, you care too much. They judged me very harshly for caring. Yet it is one of my greatest superpowers. It's one of the reasons why I can do healing sessions the way I do, the way that I have been of service to so many different industries, from, working in the construction industry to childcare to disability care to now I'm doing, cleaning and different types of clients with all of that too. It's, too emotional. It doesn't fucking matter. So I think I've always known this. There's definitely resistance being my biggest problem. Yeah. So just lean into it. Just be you. Because along with that level of tears and frustration and anger can come some really beautiful moments of absolute joyousness and sunshine and sparkles and rainbows. And, you know, it's like there's always both sides there. All right. So allow yourself to feel that sunshine, the rainbows, the sparkles, and just let it shine out your face like Roald Dahl told us to. All right. Because it's just, and it's going to feel really different to people who consistently gossip and judge. And, you know, it's, that stuff is long gone. That's old way thinking. Time to move on. The next card that we've got for you, my love, is express your hidden feelings, celebrate your light. Yes, besties, yes. It's like, yes. And so there's a lot of things that you've been kept hidden, you've kept it in your heart, and it's time to let it out. So tell your friends, if somebody's popping into your mind and you're like, oh gosh, I wonder what they're up to, tell them, message them, reach out to them, let them know that you're thinking of them and caring about them, and tell them that you tell the ones that you adore that you love them, because that is one of your superpowers too. Don't leave that stuff unexpressed. There's some really big love stuff, and I can perceive that. It's just like it's bursting to get out of you, and it's like it's trying to break through all these layers of other people's stuff, of the societal norm stuff of, oh no, you got to be prim and proper, and you can't do XYZ, and you can't hug people, and you can't smile that much, and you can't be that emotional, and you can't do this, and you can't have wild hair, and you can't. Fuck it. Fuck all of that. It is time to just let yourself be seen and heard. That's what your team is asking you to do. That deep down emotion stuff, bring it up. If you don't necessarily want to say it to people, write it down, please. But let it start flowing from you. Let it come out of you one way or the other. They're saying, please stop squashing this stuff down. And as I suspected, you're going through some interesting changes and shifts and upgrades at the moment. So we've got discover yourself anew, look inside and rise. So when we are upgrading, I'm not sure how aware you are of that process, but it can be flippin' rough sometimes. And other times it can be really lovely and beautiful and soft. But when we are in that transition space of, like I was saying before I even flipped the cards over, of moving away from even friend groups, this whole thing can be related to friend groups as well. When we start realizing that we're not really in alignment with our friend groups anymore, it's like if you're somebody who used to party a lot and go out to the pubs and the clubs and, you know, dance the night away on a Friday night and wake up with a hangover, but you take the hair of the dog and you keep partying through the day, and then out for Saturday night too, and then you're zonked out for Sunday, but then you start getting yourself ready for work on Sunday evening so that you can hopefully go to work Monday without a hangover. And then all your friend groups around you are like of that same thing. And then you realize one day, actually, I'm wasting so much time doing that, and money and energy. And I don't feel great for most of the weekend. And so you start making some different choices. And next thing you know, your friends are saying, oh, yeah, blah, 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 like, why aren't you coming out, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, oh, I actually don't really feel like it today. And then after a while, you start moving away from that, and there's a space there that is created, and it can be a bit lonely. So, yeah, thank you. Last couple of days, I've been shown what is not in alignment, and it's been a bit rough. Yeah. And the universe is supporting us really, really clearly at the moment. and loudly about what is not in alignment. So well done to you for being so aware. That's great. So how are you going to be able to move through this space, this little bit of a bumpy road for you? How are you going to move through it with a bit more ease? One of the ways that you're going to do this is to explore your feminine aspects and flow with life. So one of the things that has happened for many of us women, myself included, is that we were raised with very, very strong mother types, which were actually people who were really super in their masculine. And sure, they had boobs and a butt, but at the same, in a vagina, but at the same time, man, you would have thought they were dudes because of how strong they were and are. And as a result, we've learned how to be with that. We've learned how to cope with those masculine energies. And the problem with that is that we then develop some really interesting coping mechanisms or survival techniques of like hyper independence can be one that's really, really big. And then when a woman is in her hardcore masculine, and what also happens with that, and this is with me, it happened, is that I had a really interesting point of view of, or a belief system that I can't trust anybody else to do things for me. I have to do them for myself. And that came through from some points of views that I'd picked up and belief systems I'd picked up from my very masculine men, like mother figures. And because I grew up on, in a rural area where the women were very, very strong. How that developed in my life is that along with strength came a lot of narcissism and gaslighting and guilt tripping and all of that sort of stuff, energy came attached with that too. So I went into people pleasing, mimicking the masculine, because then I knew how to cope with that, but also hyper independence, which also meant that I was really finicky. I was a neat freak. I was like organized as all get out. Like I was so organized, but I was not connected to my feminine. So I welcomed into my life a lot of men who were boy men, who just wanted a mother figure to look after them, who were not actually really willing and prepared to step up and be on a same par with me to support me. Because the other thing is I had no space for them in my life to be that, because I was catering to everything that could be in the masculine space. I was doing that for me. I don't need you to change a light bulb. I don't need you to do change a car tire. I don't need you to do anything for me because I can do it for my fucking self. So, welcome. And then equally, I'd get pissed off when they wouldn't do stuff for me. It's like, why didn't you just think to do that? Well, all you had to do was ask. Well, I don't want to have to ask all the time. And I've had other people around me going, but Lorene, I just don't know how to contribute to you because you do so much yourself already. How can I even, there's no space for me. And so that was, there was a couple of short-lived relationships in there that were a little bit more aware. So I had to go on a very deep, deep feminine journey. And this is where you're at now. This is how you're going to bridge that divide. At the moment, the universe is supporting us beautifully on bringing and balancing up our divine feminine and our divine masculine energies. First of all, we have to get rid of a lot of anger. There's so much anger. Women are angry, angry, angry people. And that's why we often have those points of views that working with other women is horrible. It's, women are just backstabbing bitches. They're just out to get you. There's a lot of reasons for us having those points of views. But it also keeps us separated from our divine feminine. So it adds to our divine masculine. So we keep reinforcing those points of views, right? So, yeah, I can see that. I can see that, Tamara. Having the kids full time. Yeah, it's a lot of anger. And when there's a lot of anger, we don't, and that's a very forceful energy, which is more masculine. So yeah, we have to sit with that. We have to let it go. We have to forgive. There's a lot of forgiveness that's got to be done. And, I went on a really deep 18-month journey with that. And it started out with a book called Pussy, the Reclamation by Regina Thomas Hauser. And it's a white book. Let's see, have I got it with an easy reach? I think I do. 1 second. Here it is. Okay, so it's this book here. I highly recommend it. It was where I started my feminine journey. I resisted it so hard. I did a 2 book clubs with it. I did one really quick one where somebody else facilitated the group, and then I then did a longer journey with it, with me facilitating it. And it was an incredible book, and it was so good to have that sisterhood come together. And that was just brilliant. So perhaps it's time for me to do that again, huh? Thank you for the nudge. All right. So in exploring your feminine aspects, what's going to happen is this next one, that you will be transforming your relationships. So your relationships will never, ever look the same again. The more that you balance your masculine and feminine energies, the more your relationships are going to change, and your relationship with yourself is going to change. So one of the things that I noticed early on, before I even started my feminine journey, was that I hated my body. I had good bits about my body, and I knew that, and I played them up. But overall, I had this belief that my body was terrible. It was fat, it was flabby, it had, lumps and bumps, and I was never going to be a size 10, and, my hair was so curly, it would go bonkers, and at that stage I was still dyeing my hair because my silvers were coming through, and had been for so many years, but I was having to re-dye it every 2 fucking weeks because it was just growing so fast, and that drove me nuts. And I realized that I had to change that point of view. I used to say so many hurtful things to my body and think so many horrible things about my body. And it was in conjunction with a conversation with someone else. And I was just like, if you were talking to your best friend as you talk to your body, would you still have your best friend? And that really shook me, because I realized that the way that I spoke to my body, there is no way I would ever have a best friend or a close friend or even any acquaintances. I would have no friends. And it made me so sad. And so I had to first forgive myself for being so awful to my body. And then I had to realize that there's no point blaming anybody else. There's no point blaming society or blaming my parents or, what they did or did not say, or, friends or people from high school, or, the person who raped me in university, or like, there's just no point blaming anybody else. Absolutely none. I can take responsibility for how I speak to my body. So I started a little process back in probably, it's about 6 years ago now, where every morning, and it felt really weird when I first started it, but every morning I would wake up and I'd go, good morning, beautiful toes. Good morning, beautiful feet. Good morning, beautiful ankles. Good morning, beautiful calves. Good morning, beautiful shins. And I would just gently work up my body. And if I happened to have somebody else in the bed with me, I'd just do it in my head. And it was so that I could get to a point where I had basically told myself I was beautiful from my toes to the top of my head and the tips of my fingers multiple times, at least 20 times before my feet even hit the ground. And that very, very gently, very slowly started to unravel a lot of the trauma around my body. And with unraveling that trauma, it started taking away those belief systems and taking away the points of views. And then all of a sudden it was like, I think I'd be doing that for maybe a year. And then I was like, hey, body, truth, do you wish to dye your hair anymore? And she's like, no. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. So that began the journey of embracing my natural sparkles. And you know what? I have had more compliments about my hair now that it is natural and sparkly and it's doing its own thing and it's curly and it's crack-a-loodle sometimes, and it doesn't matter. I've had more compliments in the last, 4.5 to 5 years since it's completely grown out than I ever had about my hair previously. And it's because I own it. I'm like, yeah, I'm letting my sparkles shine. When people started judging me, when it was at that half stage, they're like, don't you think you should dye your hair now? I was like, no, I'm letting my natural sparkle shine. But thank you for your opinion. So it was a really beautiful growth moment for me. And I still can do like little bits of color every now and then at the bottoms or something like that. But I'm doing it because it's fun, not because I feel I have to. It's like makeup for me. I don't do it every day. It's only if I feel like I want to have a bit of fun. And this, before I do your yummy card, is your next lovely card, which is to value your uniqueness. As you continue on in this journey, you will feel this more and more. And you'll see it and really, what they say, inner stand, not understand, because it means you're under the problem. You're standing under the problem. Oh, thanks, Nicole. You will feel and know what this means. So this is sort of like, this is the, yay, you could do it. This is what you're working towards. Yeah, you got this. That's this card. Okay. So value your uniqueness because you got this. You got this. I love your natural sparkles too, Melinda. Okay. Oh, what was that one? And throughout it all, keep your humor up. Keep your humorous going. You know the good old saying, if you don't laugh, you'll cry? You're going to need that saying a lot. The other one that's coming forward at the moment is when that moment of resistance comes up, see it as a positive, not a negative. And instead of going, oh, there's resistance there, and pushing away, go, oh, what can I find out now? What can I uncover and release? And approach resistance from that space of wonderment. Because that space of wonderment is what's going to help you move through it with a lot more ease than going, oh God, now we've got to knuckle down and there's no pain, no gain. Like, get rid of that point of view, because that's a very masculine point of view. That space of wonderment is your feminine point of view. Okay. And it's like, oh, yeah, let's do this. Yum. All right. So I hope that helps you, Tamara. Thank you so much for your donation. I really, really appreciate it. And I look forward to connecting with you in the future. Thank you for coming on to Find You Fridays. I'm really grateful for you. And thank you to your team for guiding us throughout that reading. Tony, hello, darling. How are you? I love your energy too, sweetie. All the way from the other side of the world. I love it. International superstar I am. Okay, so Edwina, gorgeous, lovely one. Could you please pop your question in? That would be fabulous. Thank you for putting your donation in. Of course, donations always get priority. And I only do free readings if I feel I have the space, time, and energy to do so. Generally, these shows are only about 2 hours long. Very rarely do they go longer than that because it's Friday. And, it's nighttime and I only have so much voice to give on a nighttime. So you're feeling good, so good for the first time in so long. Oh, wonderful, Tony. I am so happy for you. You're welcome, Tamara. I have a cousin called Tamara. I love it. I wonder. I just adore you guys so much. I really do. Just taking a moment, just have a little bit of a breath to expand out, to enjoy being with you all. Just take a big, deep breath in. And another big, 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 deep breath in. And this time, as you breathe in, we're going to bring the Mother Earth energy all the way up through our bodies as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, just bring your Father Sky energy all the way down. Beautiful. Oh, dear. Oh, I adore you too. Thank you. Oh, goodness. Soul purpose. Oh, Edwina. Jesus Christ. Let me see what we can do with that one. Might be a little bit too big a topic, but we shall see. We'll see what the team is willing to let us go for in this one. Did you require to remember how to breathe, Tony? Rebalancing our masculine and feminine energies is very important. Oh, Nicole. Oh, geez. So Edwina, immediately, I'm still shuffling, obviously, but I'm just talking with your team at the moment. And they say, they're telling me right now, in this 10 seconds, your sole purpose is to raise good humans. To raise humans with kindness and compassion in their hearts. And to have that space of showing them action and consequence, not just that space of action and consequence when they've done something a little bit naughty, but also when they show kindness and compassion towards each other or the community or anything like that, that the abundance is there for them to receive on that too. So your purpose is to continue on with that. Your purpose is also to not necessarily raise them how you were raised. And that's the challenge for you. So I know you already show them a lot of kindness, caring, and love and attention, and you tell them that you love them and you give them loads of cuddles and things like that. And they're saying that's exactly what you're supposed to be doing. But they're also saying don't be too soft on them. You have to give them form and structure as well. And there's that beautiful balance that you are already doing, and that it's okay that that is your purpose right now, because it's a big fucking task, right? So that was just a confirmation from them of you're doing an amazing job. Keep going, and things are going to keep shifting and changing as they grow and require different from you, and the conversations will change. And they just said to remember you're their parent. Remember you're their parent. I don't want to say that. Because she is their friend. But you have to remember that you're the parent first at the moment. The friend stuff comes a little bit later. Like when you can flip it round. So not that they become the parent. That's not till bajillions of years away. Yeah. Just keep remembering that you are the parent in this situation. And also that there's a lot of knowledge that they already have, that they've come in with, that they are expressing, and that's good. Keep encouraging that too. Thank you, Nicole. This is my happy place, and this is why I'm happy with people here. Okay. All right. So first of all, we're going to be doing some tarot. So I'm like, So I've gone a little bit quiet because I have to pay a little bit more attention to these guys because they have a lot more information in them. And so this is the only reversed card out of all of them. So it is an interesting little reading that we've got here. So we've got the Knight of Pentacles. And of course, we know that the Pentacles card is, obviously the Pentacles is money and things like that, but it's also earthbound stuff. And the Pentacles is a really interesting card to start off with because the way it's positioned in this reading, he's actually looking to the past. So there's an element there of what you're doing at the moment is you're constantly looking to the past to figure out what you're trying to do for the future. And it's almost creating a bit of a block for you within that. And it's like there's a lot of knowledge that you've already gained from the past, hence the reason why it's a Knight card, but it's not Queen or King, which means that you're still sitting in that space of feeling like you're a little bit of a novice, but you're actually not. You're a lot more, you've learned a lot from your past already. You're not quite mastered it, but at the same token, there's still some growth that is required. There's been a lot of grounding energy that you've had to work with over in previous time. And yet you are standing tall. You are strong, you're holding your posture well, you're positive, you're not feeling rushed or anything like that. You're just stoic almost in your direction. So the reason why it's upside down is because it required to show me that it was past energies that are there to remind you that yes, you have learned a lot, you've done a lot of grounding, you've done a lot of that base work, that earthy type work, and now it's time to look forward. The next two cards are very interesting because we've got the Eight of Swords, which I find is a very fascinating card coming up. So when we look at the Eight of Swords, some people see that as being like, you can initially look at that and go, oh my God, it's like she's trapped, right? You're feeling a bit trapped in where you are in your situation, and like, I don't know how I'm going to move forward, and I don't know what my purpose is, and but at the end of the day, the stuff that's wrapped around her, the bandages, the cloth, is very loose. And so she can actually just kind of wriggle out of it pretty easily if she wanted to, and therefore take off the blindfold. So the swords being the air sign, you're up in your head. So you're allowing yourself to go into a lot of monkey mind around what your purpose is. And you're thinking, oh God, there's got to be more to it than this. And you at the moment have one of the most important jobs of the planet right now. You've got your little ones, and the work that you are doing with them will have long-lasting, rippling effects across all the generations to come, whether they have children or not. Okay? So this card is saying, hey, please don't believe that you are being blinded or you're stuck or you're not moving forward. You know, there's a lot of water here as well, which means that's a bit of emotional stuff going on. But at the end of the day, everything is quite, if you really look from a more wider open perspective, none of it is permanent. None of it, like, it's not like she's completely surrounded by swords. There's a big, huge opening right here. She just takes that, like wiggles one arm free and then pulls up the blindfold. She can see that. So your future and your purpose is a lot more open than what you probably perceive it is. So at the moment, it's about seeing your role as a mum as being something that is vital right now. That is your purpose right now. There is more to come. Oh dear. We have the 9 of Swords. And this lovely lady, oh, she's been kept up at night with all of the monkey mind. So again, honey, like, stop stressing. Go with the flow a little bit more. Take time to smell the roses and the other yummy flowers and the sunsets and the rainbows, and, you know, keep reminding your children how to stay in that space of childlike wonderment and to continue your learning as well of feminine and masculine balance, learning what that is, making sure that you're in balance with your feminine energies so that the children are seeing that and going, oh, is that what that feels like? Oh, okay. Yeah, I can bring that into my world too. And to allow yourself the space to relax, because there's a lot of stressed energy with this. So your purpose right now is to relax. Now, these next 2 cards, I find them quite funny, but it is what it is. So we have the 8 of Pentacles. So we've got a lot of sword and pentacle energy with you right now. So back to that base stuff, but this time it's upright and there's a lot of hard work, there's money, there's abundance, there's a sort of head down, bum up feel to it. So what you're going to be working on beyond your children, like once they've grown, it's going to require some work. And the work that you're doing now is going to formulate the basis of what you will be doing in the future. What you are gaining right now is on-the-job work experience, if you like. And you will be picking up a lot of tools and tips on how to raise conscious children and how to do that in a way that is uniquely from your perspective. So I would highly recommend at the moment, when you have 30 seconds in the toilet, perhaps with your phone and your keep notes. If you get longer than that, great. Those cute little anecdotes, those little things that your kids do that are like teaching moments, start writing them down now, because they're going to create a basis for something that you will be creating in the future. Okay, that is going to be something that you will teach, that is going to be something that you will create with, and it's going to bring you a lot of money. So it's still like I said, it's workspace, it's hard work at the moment, but this is definitely something that's coming through as the experience that you're getting now is going to create something really, really special as far as being a leader and a teacher and that sort of thing in the future. And it'll come through from a unique perspective of culturally inclusive as well. I'm getting something with that too. You're going to feel like a bit of a hermit as you move through these next little whiles. Okay. It's going to feel like you're a little bit just focused on home stuff, and that can be a little bit frustrating. and it can feel like I'm only seeing this far in front of my face, kind of thing. Like that, you can see the man, he's holding up his lamp, his lantern, but within that, what he's also showing you is that he's on very solid ground. He's actually standing on the top of a mountain, a snow-capped mountain. And of course, what's snow? Snow is made of water, and water is therefore emotions. You are showing the light, and your purpose is to show the light, shine the light, even from a very quiet, reserved space. Your purpose is to shine the light on how to be in balance and have solid footing with all the elements of you, including your emotions. That is your purpose. And you will do that. You're doing that already. Keep going. Your team is there with you. They are supporting you. And yes, there's going to be more to come once they're a little older and sort of getting towards, the old empty nest side of things, or towards that. When they start getting a lot more independent, that 16, 17, 18 age bracket for the youngest. And you'll start feeling like, okay, now it's time. Now it's time. However, if in the midst of your children being a little bit younger and this, say, book idea comes through, roll with that. If you feel the energy is now to take that, do it. Because it doesn't have to take heaps of time, but it can. So just keep shining the light on being in balance. The goddess who wishes to contribute to your journey with this, with your soul purpose, is Teresa of Avila. Okay, she's really gorgeous. Okay, she is Our Lady of the Interior Life. So I'll read up a little bit about her so that you can kind of get her vibe. Avila, I think is probably how she says her name. Teresa of Avila. It rhymes. I like that. So Teresa of Avila connects us to the love and truth available to us whenever we turn inward. So she was born in Avila, Spain in 1515. That's a pretty cool number. So as an adolescent, she experienced many illnesses and was confined to a bed, which allowed her to begin to explore her own thoughts. She read every book she could find on spiritual exploration and contemplative prayer. By the time she was a young adult, she knew she wanted to dedicate her life to the interior world. So, so when your soul selects her card, so Saint Teresa is a call for the importance of the interior life. She knew intimately about spiritual wealth we all possess and have access to if we're willing to go inward. She not only emphasized the need to meditate and to pray in order to reach that innermost castle where the soul awaits for us, but she also instructed the sisters of her convent on how to discern the presence of the soul or of a saint or of a holy person that is giving us wisdom from within us. She had a bookmark that supposedly read, "If you have God, you will want for nothing. God alone suffices." This synthesizes the wisdom of her experience. Nothing less than divine love will satiate the seeker, especially once you have met it from within. She urges us to pray, to meditate, and to go inward to meet the presence of the soul. And then she asks for us to believe that it is real and that the answers we find are real. She asks us to move that inner truth out into the world with confidence and conviction. So the soul voice meditation that goes along with Teresa is, what does love feel like in my body? So that's something that you'll have to, well, she is asking you to really ponder and have a look at. And your intention is, I trust the answers I find within me. I know the presence of love is real. So she's a very beautiful lady. I like the Spanish connection. Was born in 1515. How beautiful is that? So yes, Teresa of Avila. So that's her. Okay. And interestingly, writing. She will support you in writing down your knowledge and your wisdom and getting it out of your head and into a book. And there's a lot of different forms of books these days. And your yummy card is support. Okay. So again, you don't have to do this all on your own. And I think this is something that's popped up a few times of, it's time for you to stretch out into your community a bit more and to start seeking things like women's groups and things like that when you have time to do that, or even, you know, have your hubby or whoever to excuse me, look after the kids while you take some time for you, because that's really important too. Right. I hope that helped. That was a fun reading. Alrighty, Edwina, I adore you, and thank you. Thank you to your team for coming in to play. Thank you for choosing to ask me a very specific question. Sometimes you've got to be careful what you ask for, right? Oh, dear. Righty ho. Okie dokie. Let me just double check our little messages. Make sure that we're all good there. Cool. Beautiful. Alrighty. We haven't done this for a couple of weeks, but we will do this now. So, to those of you who are watching, I would love you to now choose a number between 1 and 88. Put it in the chat. All right. You're welcome, Edwina. My pleasure. So yes, even those of you who have already had a reading tonight, pop your number between 1 and 88. First number that pops into your head, put it in the chat right now. Yes, Nicole, and you. This is how you're going to get a reading tonight if you wish to be having a reading from me. This is how we roll. I haven't actually done the gratitude readings very much lately, so it'd be nice to tap into that resource. Remembering, of course, thank you, Melinda, that this is an intuitive poetry book that I wrote. And just while we're waiting for some numbers, excuse me, I'll read what it says on the back. A journey from total numbness to consciousness. One woman's discovery of the whispers of awareness that have been locked into the once closely held secret pages of a poetry book. An emotional and energetic uncovering of greatly guarded and locked away chapters in a story that spans over 25 years. So, yeah. And this book created itself in a way. And I was just the vessel by which it came through. And I had to let go I had to let go to be able to create it and produce it and have it printed and available for people to buy. And, it's something that's really, I find really unique. It's kind of like, our little guidebooks that we get with our cards. It's kind of like I did the guidebook first and the cards are still in the process of being created. All right. Melinda and your team. Interesting. We got 33, which is reflections. In this screwed up world where people don't think of what will happen if they say something or do something, why can't this generation and the ones to come accept the past, present, and future and the people around them and not judge? A person is shaped by their experiences. To assess a person without exploring their personality, experiences, and opinions is shallow. The greatest gift in the world to give to another is trust. From trust stems love, respect, and friendships. But how can one gain trust without looking into every crevice, fold, and layer of another person? Many people have learned to be cautious because at some time in their lives that trust was misused, and they form a wall around themselves and will keep it there till someone is able to take the time, effort, and kindness to slowly take that wall down. Every person requires a soulmate, someone to trust implicitly and not be judged in any way. Together, they will be able to branch out and always give encouragement, support, and love to each other. So this is an interesting one, Melinda, because it's like the words that and the energies that were popping out of this one for me, and interestingly, my finger over here is like all of a sudden gotten really, really itchy. So please check on meridian lines that run down the middle finger on your right hand and on the outside edge. Please check that for yourself because there's some energies floating around there for you. Also, there was a couple of things in there of like the trust thing. It's like trust doesn't have to be the spaces and places where trust for you has been misused. Please don't allow those moments to be the moment of, tarring everybody with the same brush. Because when we do that, that's how the walls come up. And that's when we can't let anybody in. That person who can come through the wall is you. You're the one that has to allow yourself to feel the love from the inside out. You're the one that has to allow that wall to come down. And you're the one that has to learn to trust yourself. Because as you grow your trust in yourself, you will be able to then trust that you will know who is for your highest and best. And then you will have the confidence to go, that's not for my highest and best, and you're not for my highest and best, and you're judging me, and I trust my awareness around that. So, hey, I'm not buying into that. Not my circus, not my monkeys, man. Bye. I'm going to go over here and be happy. So those were the things that popped out for that one for you. Is it's time to start looking at those trust levels. And I think you'll probably find that's around your solar plexuses anyway. Okie dokie. Alrighty. So Catherine, thank you so much for being here. $24 for you. The entanglement. As I get tangled deeper into the web of love, the overwhelming feeling of sadness covers me. I need you to be near. I cry these tears, and although they are in sadness, they are for the love that I feel for you. Sometimes you question if I really do love you. These tears aren't fake, and neither are my words. This web which is being woven around my heart is especially for you and me. And no matter how far apart we are, I know that we'll be thinking of each other in that special way that only a couple can. Catherine, where are you investing your love where it's not being returned? Love from anyone, whether it be family, friends, whatever, partners, doesn't have to be that hard. I'm really getting a sense of like really deep heart hurts, and it's like there's this striving to be loved really so deeply, but at the same time there's this place of like trying to pull it from the people who just can't give it to you. And it's that they don't have the capacity to do so to the levels that you require. So it's like there's a really interesting energy there of like, this is really bringing that up to be seen so that you can make some different choices, and maybe bring some people into your world and your friendship circles or something like that that can love you in the way that is more in alignment with what you require. Hope that makes sense. I adore you, Catherine. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for choosing the number 24. Handed winner. Oh dear. This poem is called Endless. As the years go by like the running stream towards the ocean, you look at your reflection and wonder, where did those endless days of youth go? You remember the days when you were dependent upon your parents, then the days where you thought you were invincible, only to realize that you needed them after all. You're grown now, but there's always a part of you which remains your link with the greatest influence in your life. The ones who cried with you, laughed with you, were proud of you, were sometimes frustrated with you and wanted to strangle you, but loved you all the time. Now you've got your own link to be the greatest influence in someone else's life. You're always wanting the best for your little darlings and hoping that they will be all right, knowing that the world is a very different place to live in now, but wishing that your not so little ones will make wise and solid choices as they now get to an age where they wonder, where did those endless days go by? Edwina, I don't think I require to say anything else about that one. Oh, sweetie, I told you. That's your purpose. It is what you're meant to be doing right now. And like, it's, oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. If you needed or required any further confirmation, Edwina, you just got it. You chose your own poem. Oh, that was awesome. Okay. And now we're going to do, oh dear, I'm going to do our meditation. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome, Catherine. I adore you. That is really fascinating. All right. Just making sure that my throat is nice and lubricated. So however this little meditation comes out is how it comes out. We do it intuitively, as you know. So let me see. I'm not going to think about it too hard. But what I'm going to ask you to do is to relax, be calm, take some really nice, big, deep breaths. Close your eyes if you can. And take a big, deep breath in. Expanding out that tummy all the way out. And then slowly letting that breath back out again. Again, breathing in. And breathing out, letting that breath come out nice and slowly. Really feeling your diaphragm, those muscles around your stomach just working so well to bring all that breath down low, low, low through your body. Breathing in, bringing Mother Earth energy all the way up. And now Father Sky energy all the way down from your head all the way down to your toes and your out through your fingertips. Bringing that energy back up again from Mother Earth and the crystalline energies, the unconditional love. And Father Sky energy with the gratitude for everything and everyone, including you. Gorgeous you, all the way down through your body. And just keep that breath going. In and out as we move through the next part of our meditation. We're going to do the expanding out exercise as we always do. Tapping down into Mother Earth and expanding out our awareness in a big, big bubble. Bigger than the size of the room that we're in. Bigger than the size of the building that we're in. Expanding out our awareness in a lovely big bubble. Larger than the size of the country that we're in. And as you expand out, start to become aware of the other people in the Find You Fridays group that are currently doing this exercise with us. You might feel them tickling along your awareness. You might feel some tingles, you might feel warmth, you may feel nothing, and that's okay too. Expanding out your awareness out beyond the size of the planet. Expanding out your awareness out beyond the size of the solar system. Expanding out your awareness out beyond the size of the galaxies. expanding out your awareness out beyond the size of the universes. Take a big deep breath in and out. Just allow your body to just integrate this space. And while you allow your awareness to be nice and expanded out, focusing on your body once again, grab that sense of allowance. Expanding out that sense of allowance beyond the space of your body, remembering that when we are in allowance and that our allowance expands out beyond our awareness, it takes us from being that tight little contracted pebble at the bottom of a raging river of everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions, where we're getting battered and bashed around, to becoming like the big fluffy cloud who can just see that raging river for what it is. It's just energy. And you don't have to be at the effect of it. So expanding out your allowance beyond the size of your body in a big bubble, expanding out your allowance beyond the size of the building that you're in, up into the sky, down into the earth. Expanding out your allowance beyond the size of the country that you're in, beyond the size of the planet. And as you expand out your allowance, you may begin to feel the energy of the other people in the Find You Fridays crew who are also doing this exercise with us. Especially for those of you who have done this a few times now. Be familiar with each other's energies. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's what being in collective is all about. Expanding out your allowance beyond the size of the solar system, beyond the size of the galaxies, beyond the size of the universes. And now expanding out your allowance beyond your awareness. Take a big deep breath in and allow these spaces to integrate. I'd like you all now to place one hand near where your base chakra is, and the other hand on your heart, or no, the crown. And as you do so, imagine that there is a flow of energy that you can perceive that is coming from Mother Earth, and it's moving through your hand, and your hand is amplifying this energy from Mother Earth, and it's coming through and it's starting to flow through your base chakra. And now it's moving, and after it's made the base chakra starting to really spin and flow and be vibrant in its absolute gorgeousness. It is now amplifying that energy and that flow, that crystalline energy, the unconditional love from Mother Earth. And it's starting to move up through until to the sacral chakra, that beautiful orange sacral chakra. Amplifying that energy, moving it up through into the solar plexus energy, into that solar plexus chakra. And as your hand amplifies that beautiful energy from Mother Earth, you can feel that gorgeous energy from Father Sky welcoming and drawing that Mother Earth energy all the way up through the body, making your body hum, making your chakras spin, cleansing and clearing them of anything that is no longer serving you, that we can let go of in this 10 seconds. If your body wishes to move, please allow it to do so. And now moving that beautiful, gorgeous energy up through to the heart chakra. You perceive that green energy of the heart, moving that heart chakra around. Once again, letting go of any of those heart hurts that are ready to let go of right now. Remember to keep breathing. Breathe deeply. Keep moving that energy up through to the throat chakra. That gorgeous Mother Earth energy, which is being amplified by your hand, moving up through the base, the sacral, this solar plexus, the heart, the throat, and moving up through to the third eye chakra now. Keeping that energy flowing up, being pulled up by Father Sky energy to dance and play with Father Sky. Because that is what your divine feminine, your divine masculine is supposed to be doing. It is supposed to be dancing, not one dominating over the other. It's a communion between the two. One does not dominate. They support, they love, they nourish each other. And while sometimes one may require to be a bit of a bigger player, the other is still there just as potently. Those energies are now pulling up through to the crown chakra. Ho, ho, ho. Oh, ho, 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 ho. And now taking your hand and placing it from the crown area down to your heart. Taking your base hand and placing that on your heart space too. A big breath in. And as that beautiful, bright, white light of unconditional love flows from your higher self, from source, through into your heart space, down through your body, down through to Mother Earth, circling around Mother Earth, moving all the way back up through all those beautiful crystalline layers. And now moving back up through your body, just gently contributing and nurturing and nourishing all of your cells and molecules, coming all the way up through your feet, through your beautiful, gorgeous feet, the ones who hold you to the ground. Thank you, beautiful feet, for everything that you do for us. I'm so, so grateful for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Through your ankles, through your shins and your calves and your knees. Amazing knees that support and bounce and nourish us all the way through every single step that we take every single day. Coming up through our thighs and into our hips, where so much of our emotional energy is kept in our pelvic area. And of course, the pelvic area was where miracles are created. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Coming up through your belly, where again, so much emotion is stored in our bellies. We give thanks to the incredible job that our bellies does every single day, not only doing all that emotional, spiritual work for us, but also in our work of digestion, of nourishment, and holding all of those incredible internal organs in their correct places so that we may function so well in this world. A beautiful Mother Earth energy, that unconditional love is now moving up through your heart, and you can feel the warmth under your hands. Now coming up through your throat, your chest and your throat. And of course, we're giving so much thanks for our heart and our chest and our lungs and all of our other major internal organs and the minor ones, all the cells and molecules and our bones and our muscles. Thank you, thank you, thank you for absolutely everything that you do for us. I'm so, so grateful. Because without you, I would not exist in this earthly plane. I would be in the spiritual world. And I would not be able to do what I'm doing now. And energy is moving up through your throat and your neck. That beautiful Mother Earth energy. Through your jaw, your gums, your teeth, your lips, your tongue, your nose, your eyes. Your ears, through your forehead. Through the brain and the subconscious brain. And as it moves through each of those areas, it's just reminding us about the possibilities that are now open to us, that are opening many, many, many times over, multiplied upon multiplied, exponentially multiplied every single day with every choice that we make. It's reminding us of the actual possibilities of this gorgeous, amazing planet, the quantum entanglements that we tap into knowingly and unknowingly every single day. Let's make our choices be more conscious and more pragmatic. Continuing to be that space of kindness and peace and gentleness with ourselves and with those around us. Having that energy move up through the crown. And that energy has moved all the way down your arms, through your hands. And we thank the dance of Mother Earth and Father Sky. We say thank you, thank you, thank you, body. Thank you, Mother Earth, for reminding me how glorious my body is. Thank you to Father Sky for dancing with my body and playing with the elements of my body every single day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for reminding me of the sunshine and the joy and the playfulness. Thank you. And now as you allow your hands to relax, please take a big deep breath in from Mother Earth all the way up through your body. Once again, bring that Mother Earth energy and the grounding energy coming in. And you know the deal, bring your Father Sky energy all the way down. Mother Earth energy all the way up. And Father Sky energy all the way down. And as Father Sky energy comes all the way down, it's washing away any other little fragments of stuff that we no longer desire to keep anymore. And Mother Earth fills up all those spaces with her gorgeous unconditional love all the way up. And now Father Sky, with gratitude for everything and everyone, even the challenging people in our lives, to come all the way down through our body. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is time. Alrighty, my beautiful ones. When you're ready, open your eyes. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I'd love to know how you felt about that particular sound healing. It came out. I had a feeling it would. I don't know how my partner feels about that. Didn't warn him. Oh well. So I just ask and remind you to please drink some water after you hop off the show tonight. Please have something a little bit salty. You can even just get a pinch of like Himalayan salt, pop that in your mouth, because we've moved some pretty big energy today. So please do that. And you may even be wishing for something a little bit sweet. So thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for being a part of the Find You Fridays crew. I am so incredibly grateful for you, every single one of you. And I hope that whatever you get up to over this next week, please remember to approach it from a space of kindness, of peace, of gentleness. Even in those crunchy moments, please take a big deep breath. Allow yourself to just, okay, I can do this. I remember Lorene said something about this. Just breathe. And remember, you are all amazing, magical people who are the leaders in this world in your own unique way. Please keep being out there and sharing your magic with the greater community. You are desired, you are required. Keep being you. Thank you, Catherine. I can feel that. That's amazing. Alrighty, my lovelies. It is time for me to go. I saw the clock at 2:22, so it is definitely time for me to disappear out of here. Thank you, everyone. I hope that whatever you get up to, you do something tasty for yourself over the week or the weekend. And I really, truly look forward to seeing you next week. Be bold, be brave, be you, my beautiful ones. Let your voice be heard. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye, everyone.